Good afternoon to all our listeners and viewers of the NDC Heartbeat podcast. We're happy to welcome all those who are listening on radio via WeFM, Vibes FM, Spice Capital Radio. We've got 100.5 FM out of Labby in Grenville. We have Rampoon Radio out of Delaware in the United States, and several other stations picking up the heartbeat on a Sunday afternoon. Well, it's a bit rainy outside, lots of showers, but it has stopped at least down in the southern part of the island. And we are going to just get right into the program of the Heartbeat. Let me also welcome all our viewers on our YouTube channel, also on the NDC Facebook online platform. In studio with me today is Senator the Honorable Claudette Joseph, caretaker for the town of St. George. She's also Attorney General, Minister responsible for Labor and the Consumer Affairs Department. So, welcome to Heartbeat, Senator. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank
you. We'll get into the program very shortly.
Here again.
Yep.
You missed one, legal affairs.
Legal affairs. Okay. You have so many, at least. I can't keep up with all of them.
Yes.
Great. Well, welcome to the Heartbeat.
Thank you.
What we would want to do is to do a short excerpt or a short video of Weepan Fest, which you created, and presented at the period during 21st June to 5th July, where we mark Diaspora Homecoming.
Yes.
So we'll take that in, have a conversation on that, and then we'll go into several other areas. I believe you just came back recently from a trip, so please update us on that. Okay, so stay with us. We'll share this with you and come right back to Senator Claudette Joseph. NDC Heartbeat. You would have seen there just a short video of what took place at Weepan Fest on the Carnage and during the period of Diaspora Homecoming from 21 June to the 5th July. Senator, this was indeed a wonderful creation of your good self.
Yes.
Tell us about it. What was the challenges like? And it's now, what, the 5th year, is it?
Third.
Oh, the 3rd year. Oh, way ahead of myself.
Feels like the 5th, right?
Yeah, it feels like the 5th. I mean, it's well oiled.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
So tell us something about it and what brought it about, etc.
Okay. Thank you very much, Terry, and good afternoon to everyone listening Heartbeat, NDC Heartbeat program, and viewing the NDC Heartbeat program. This program is probably about 25 years old now, eh?
I would think so.
Yeah, it's been going for a while.
Yes.
And so it's one of the one of the, I would say, accomplishments of the National Democratic Congress to be able to have a program running this many years consistently.
Long before I was there.
Yes, long before you were there. That's true. And so Weepan Fest, I was on the program previously discussing Weepan Fest and promoting Weepan Fest. Weepan Fest is an initiative of mine that I thought could be undertaken to bring our community of the town of St. George together, and to do so by leveraging something, an aspect of the town that binds us together, and that's really the steel band movement. It is undoubtable that the town of St. George is the mecca of the steel band movement in Grenada. We host 3 of the top steel bands in the country, and what we are seeing now too, and has happened in the past as well, is that the steel bands in the town of St. George, they are the platforms from which other steel bands around the country are formed and revived. So, for example, we have the Corinthian Steel Orchestra. They came to PanFest, a young band, a lot of little children. I don't think there's anybody.
Quite a lot of young
it
kids
had like 5 from around 7. They look to be around ages 7 and up to me. And a lot of young people, really wonderful. They are being coached by a member of the River Road Pan Wizards right now. That's Mr. Dashiki Philip. And Rainbow City All Stars, they came to PanFest for the first time.
Wow.
And the arranger is now a young man that was groomed and nurtured and developed in the Republic Bank Angel Harps. That's Javan Andrews. So we see, and we saw Peck doing it before, using his platform from City New Tones and New Dimensions to spread steel band music in the schools. Previously, when Corinthians was originally formed, it was formed by Angel Harps senior, that's Michael Bucyrus. So the steel band movement is something that really, really brings the community together. And not just the town of St. George, but neighboring communities like St. Paul's and the band from Springs. And so it's a really good avenue to help build character, discipline in our young people, and to unite the community. So I wanted to do something to help bring back the sense of community and that kind of spirit of belonging to the town of St. George. And the idea came about in discussing it with my team, that we should do something like that. In fact, initially the idea was to use artists, because we have quite some artists in the town. Really? But then I said no, the steel band, because I understand it.
Yep.
So this was our 3rd year, and as a little video show, produced by those who helped us to plan and execute the event. And I would like to shout out Missy Chrissy of Lashington Agency. They did a great job helping us to pull everything together, promote, organize, and deliver in a professional way. And so the recap video that we just showed there was actually produced by Missy Chrissy and her team. Just Fantastic. To show. It was the best. I noticed even the newspapers gave us some nice coverage, recognizing the impact that the activity is having on the community, which is good. And as one of the newspapers reported, PanFest is growing. And I assure the people of the town of St. George and the people of Grenada that PanFest is here to stay. Wow. As I said when we were promoting it, it is something that I could see myself doing even beyond politics. So next year, we hope for it to grow even bigger and better. And I would, from now, pitch to our corporate entities for your involvement and support. I'd like to thank the National Lotteries Authority. They gave us some good support this year. but we can do with some more support, so that we can also, when we bring the artists and the steel bands, and so we give them a little incentive, because, for example, they're all preparing for the carnival season. The steel bands are preparing for Panorama. You heard Mr. Arthur Hostin, who graced us with his presence at PanFest. Thank you for coming, Mr. Hostin. And all the members of the Steel Band Association was there.
Right.
And he was explaining on a press conference recently, a few days ago, that it costs the steel bands upwards of $50,000 to prepare for Panorama. So part of what we do with the funds we raise to organize PanFest is that we give each participating band a little something, a little
token.
Yeah, a little token. Because of course they have to hire a truck and thing to bring the pans to the carnage. They have to look uniformed and everything, and they are in the midst of preparing for Panorama. So we think, we could give a little something so that it goes towards helping them prepare for Panorama. And we do the same with the artists who come and perform. We focus on artists from the tongue of St. George. So this year we were really happy. We had General Pipi and Tempest and LED and Chaos and
the tongue of St. George could hold an entire carnival for itself.
And then of course we had Blackadan. Not exactly from the tongue of St. George, but he was one of the guys who readily agreed to participate when first we started PanFest. And one of the big names who came on in this little community activity debuted his hit song Blessing at PanFest.
Right.
And so he debuted another nice tune this year.
Fantastic.
I don't know your name.
Oh, yes. I've heard that one.
I love it.
Yeah,
right?
It's wonderful.
Right, so PanFest was a success, and I would like to thank everyone who contributed in any way to making the event the success that it was. Of course, part of the highlight of PanFest is celebrating our fathers as well, because our men from the community, they are the backbone of that steel band movement. It was propelled and driven and sustained by our men folk, and so bringing community together is one aspect of the reason why we started PanFest, but also celebrating and emulating our fathers. And we were able to do that. This year, we recognized those who we lost in the past year, Blaze and the other guys who passed. Almost all the steel bands got hit. Harps, Rainbow City, Cheros. Right, so we had a little moment of silence for them, and we also did, as we did in the last two editions, recognize the fathers. So some of the outstanding stalwarts of the steel band movement, Malu Stephen from Harps, Fox from Dimensions, David Seals also from Harps. So we have these guys are there year on year, many years. Some of them since I know myself in the area, Malu and David, and so they are stalwarts of the movement, keeping it alive, nurturing the young generation. So we always want to use PanFest to show our appreciation to these community and national stalwarts.
Great, fantastic. Well, of course, Diaspora Homecoming was really pleased to partner with PanFest.
Yes.
And Mal threw out a challenge to the diaspora. They would have to get a band together to participate in PanFest. They got to ship their pants down.
Yes, man. So I would like to congratulate you, Terry, and the team on the execution of the Diaspora Homecoming activities. I was able to attend the launch at Belmont Estate. I visited the market. I did a few of the activities.
A lot of activities.
And everything went really well.
Perfect.
And the presence of our Grenadians and visitors from the diaspora at PanFest made it all the nicer.
Yep, it was a big crowd.
Nice crowd, and I saw quite a number of our ambassadors, and so at PanFest, a number of people from the diaspora attended, and so the vendors we had there, because there are three aspects to PanFest. There's the steel bands, the artists, and then the local arts and craft and produce vendors. And we had quite a few of them there, and as I walked around and I interacted with them, they all reported that the sales were really good this year. And I think that makes a difference, the fact that the diaspora audience was there. And food vendors as well. In fact, in the end, I was looking for something to eat, and I couldn't find. I actually didn't find anything.
Wow.
Because everybody was sold out, and they were really happy for that support, and they expressed gratitude to myself as the main organizer for giving them that avenue. There are a few people, creatives from the town of St. George, that were not there this year, so we have to fix that, because I know some of them and I know what they do, and they fine quality they produce. So we have to fix that so that next year we have more craft vendors from the constituency. But everything went well, and the presence of our visiting nationals from the diaspora made it all the better.
Wonderful. Well, the entire diaspora homecoming was a clear demonstration of Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell's request to unite the people of Grenada, irrespective as to where you are. You're in New York, London, Toronto, wherever, in Grenada, Petit Martinique, unification process, and I think we achieved that goal. So
yes,
my thanks and appreciation to the team, because there are lots of people at the secretariat. We had through the various ministries, private sector individuals. It was a huge team working all together in synergy to make it the success that it was. So my
you
thanks
guys
and
did a wonderful
appreciation.
job. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
And I'd also like to thank Prime Minister for attending PanFest.
Well,
He was at PanFest.
Well, of course.
And he was there with his Corinthians crew. I understand he knows a whole tune. We were trying to get him to play. But like he's a little shy.
No, well, you see, that is not doing DJ stuff here. That is repan.
He's learning to play with the Comspan team from St. David's, right? With the Corinthians team.
Well, he's a quick learner. He'll be able to pick it up quick.
So the skipper, the arranger, was confident that he could, he could play the tune. But
well.
So I tell him, well, next year he had to come with the band.
Well, put it that way. By that time, he'll be a pro at it.
So thank you, Prime Minister, for attending PanFest, and his bandmates, the little ones and Corinthians, they were really excited to have him there. In fact, when he arrived, they had already played. And then they played again.
Wow.
So they played twice.
Well.
And they were really good. They were better the second time because PM was there.
Well,
So
Prime Minister,
really nice.
I don't know where you're getting the time to play pan, but I wish you all the best. Oh boy! Well,
So it was good. It was good to have him.
That's
Yes.
great, fantastic. All turned out excellent indeed,
Yes.
and it created a spirit
Yes.
of well-being.
I'm
and
glad.
thankfulness, and it was really good. It gives a good feel and a good spirit in Grenada.
Yes.
Really a good spirit.
And in the town in particular, I encourage the people of the town to come out because we were the host, hosting all the steel bands from the other communities and people from all over. And I must say that the people of the town came out and we were really gracious hosts. And it's something, PanFest is here to stay. We're going to keep doing PanFest.
So it's on the calendar of events.
Yes, we PanFest.
Yes.
You, me, us, we.
Absolutely. So it's no different to the instructions given that Diaspora Homecoming is now an annual event.
Okay, right.
So we got to work closer, and serving notice to the diaspora, they got to put a band together to participate in We PanFest.
Yes, man.
All right.
So we're going to work it out to make sure PanFest is there, on the calendar, and because it's here to stay.
Yeah, well, trust me, Grenada probably is one of the islands now in the OECS that is really, really hectic with activities,
Yes.
From January to January.
And
The
notice
hotels have reported
yes.
June is generally a very quiet, low period. They were all filled.
Yes, I noticed.
Taxi drivers happy, vendors happy, everybody happy on the ground because things flowing.
Grenada
happening.
is doing well now. Grenada is doing well. Our people are happy. Our people are pleased with us. Our people are pleased with what we have delivered in the last 4 years, and they are looking forward to what we will deliver in the coming term.
Absolutely.
Because I get a clear sense that the people of Grenada are sticking with the National Democratic Congress.
Oh yes.
And that's a very smart thing to do. So I saw some newspaper articles this week, about 3 or so of them all saying that either it was Spice Island in trending as one of the top, as a number one.
Number one.
As rated by TripAdvisor.
That's right.
Then Calabash is in the top 10. Is it the number 2 or the number 3 in the Caribbean?
That's right.
And then Grenada as a destination.
Well,
so all different, rated by different international rating agencies and mechanism. Whether it's TripAdvisor, the other one, Expedia is the next one. Couple of them.
And
but Grenada is trending, right?
Personality is also trending.
Yes.
So in every aspect of life, Grenada is trending worldwide.
And that is what happens when a government invests in its people.
Yep.
And that's what we have been doing. We have been making conscious and deliberate efforts to invest in our people, whether it's our young people, through education, through the creative sector, through culture, through sports, whether it's the general population, through advancement in our healthcare services and system, payment of increased wages, payment of pension, retroactive pension, and ensuring that pension will be paid going forward by establishment of a new pension scheme.
Right.
I mean, all of this we've done to invest in our people.
So things happening, the statement "things happening" is not just a statement. It's a reality of facts.
It's a fact. Well, you know where it was born, right? It was when Minister Lennox Andrews was reporting at one of the town hall meetings on his stewardship in his constituency. And the amount of stuff that he was somebody in the audience, things happening, and there it was. So it was obvious, things happening.
Well, the people are feeling it.
And it's true of all constituencies, all parts of Grenada. Now there's a big push and focus on infrastructure. We had some kinks before, where we had issues with getting bitumen and material for to do the roads, and all that is resolved, and so we see some fantastic roads going down. I have not driven up to Vincennes and so yet, but people are saying when they drive up there, they feel as though they're not in Grenada.
Highway,
So I'm waiting for the good roads to come to the town. Mr. Minister for Infrastructure.
You had to plug that.
But I know a lot is on the cards. We are doing some fantastic projects in the town of St. George now. And I must place on record, on behalf of the people of the town of St. George, my sincere gratitude to the Minister for Infrastructure and his team at the Ministry of Infrastructure. And also the Minister for Community and Social Development and her team in the Ministry of Social and Community Development.
Great.
Because a lot of the infrastructural works, now mind you, there's a lot to be done in town, because nothing was happening in town in a long time. Town had parliamentary representatives in name. They were not paying attention to the town. I mean, that's just a fact. There's a lot to be done. And so right now we are just completing the circular drive road up Dabo, for example. Major project that the people were asking for many years. Same story. I sound like a broken record, but it is what it is. And that's what the people say to me when they ask, could we get this piece of work done? We've been trying to get it done for 30 years, 15 years, 20 years. Those are the numbers that they are calling. Not last year or year before or 2018. They're saying 30, 20, 15. So circular drive, we are finishing up that piece of road in Dabo. One of the residents took a little video and sent it to me of the work going on. And he did a little commentary on the video, and he said, boy, I feel we could have a big party on this road.
Wow.
Or something like, he was so excited. He said, we've never seen this kind of work take place in Dabo yet. Right? And so that is winding down. We just did a long staircase because, since in the early 1990s, 92, 93, thereabouts, lots were cut up in Dabo. And they were sold. but access and roads and so were not properly done. So to access their properties, and people over the time they build, they have no choice, they have nowhere else to build, it's the only piece of land they have. So some of them they build and so, but access was always a problem. So it's muddy footpaths and rocks and very treacherous terrain for people to get to their properties. And so on the plan you will see a loud road on the plan, but on the ground there's no road. It's a track, it's some big rocks, it's very dangerous, people fall. Normal thing, they would tell you, they fell how many times, who got injured, whatnot. And so we're dealing with that. That's what I'm trying to fix. So we've done some already.
Right.
And we just finished also another major one, which is a long step. We were hoping to have it as a drive, a motorable road, but because there was no planning, the lots were cut up, but there was no planning and proper planning in how people constructed their homes, how close to the boundaries they came, and so in certain parts we just couldn't get a width based on where existing structures are. We just couldn't get a width to make a motorable road. So we had to settle for these stairs. So we just did a nice long stairs with railing, and so because as people age, it becomes difficult for them, to access their home. So we've just finished that in Dabo. We have some other work to do up there, but with time. So there's one other major one I would like to do soon, because I've slipped there myself, going to visit people, and their whole families living, and it's just too treacherous, right? So there's one more I'd like to do before we kind of maybe focus somewhere else. We did some up Mount Rush, just finished a nice walkway. This one again, not wide enough to be motorable, but we concreted the walkway and installed solar lights, and that's what we've been doing in all areas. So we're doing the walkway and we're lighting it, because trust me, a couple of times dark night hold you up there and you had to put on your flashlight on your phone and things to get out. That's what people had to go through, and they've been voting for representatives all this time. I just can't understand it, right, Terry? I can't understand it. They've been voting for people to represent them, and this is what they've been getting, right? So yes, I'm seeing the Mount Rush one, that's under construction, almost finished. So a little walkway there. That's happening up by the Nawasa tank. So there's a whole cluster of houses there.
Wow.
That they are going to have proper access now. And as we speak of the cluster of houses in that area that you're seeing on your screen, where that walkway is being done, these people are soon going to get their deeds, because they are part of the regularization program. And we recently approved a number of them to get their deeds.
Right.
So it's getting land ownership, getting proper access to your properties, and also having the properties well lit at night, having the communities and the neighborhoods well lit at night.
Solar
so
lighting.
we're working on using the solar lights. So we're working on all of that, and it will enhance the quality of life for our people. It will enhance the value of their property.
Of course.
And therefore they have something. I see the stairs now. So you see these stairs. We just did at Dabo, just finished those. And so this was a project by the Ministry of Infrastructure.
Right.
So they really did a really good job, You see the solar light there. You're seeing the solar light. So it's really transforming these neighborhoods, right? All the way up. So it's little retaining walls, stairs. This used to be, a real treacherous.
Well, you can see some of the big stones
Big
on the
stone
side.
and mud and thing. I don't understand how people could have been represented in this manner over the years, right? So as we on our party program, I'm making the plug to the people of the town of St. George, right? Vote for me next time, so you can get more of that.
Without a doubt.
I'm asking you to support me by giving me your vote next time, so you can get more of that, because there's a lot to be done.
Look at them right in the camera and tell them.
Yes, people of the town of St. George, especially those of you viewing, you're seeing some of the progress we've made. And I'm telling you, I'm able to get these things done now because I go to my colleagues who are the line ministers and I ask them to help me get these projects done after coming to you, the people, and walking the communities myself and seeing the hardship and the difficulties. Another set of walkway here again in a different part. This is Park Lane area. So we're doing all of these work, all of this, even the dog enjoying it, right? So, but this is now walking and interacting with the people.
Yeah.
And they're saying to me, boy, we needed this thing done like 30 years ago, right? So like the stairs at Dabo, there was a lot of back and forth with the residents and the ministry because some wanted it on the other side and we had to go on the side with the plans, look at the plans. There were people saying, well, if you build it there, you'll be encroaching on my property. It's sometimes a lot of negotiations with the people and then going back to the ministry. Then we have Coco Road there. I've seen Coco Road there. That's a big one. That's just behind the bakery in Tempe there, across from the call. That's part of the town of St. George. And that road fell down. That road fell down some time back. Well, the people told me about 15 years now they're trying to get this road fixed.
Wow.
Right? And part of it fell when we had the big flooding in late 2003. When we had the flooding late 2003, 2004. Yeah, a big piece of it fell down because the river from Mount Parnassus comes right there. And so and there are businesses inside there, right? So there's a blocks plant there. I'm forgetting the man's name. There's a blocks plant there, and then there's another gentleman there who does nice cabinetry and so. And it had gotten to the point where trucks and vehicles needed to access the businesses in there, apart from the residents. Could not because the road had broken so badly. It was kind of treacherous, especially if you had a big truck. A smaller car might pass. And so it was a matter of them not even being able to access their residence and their businesses properly, obviously impacting the revenues for the blocks plant, the cabinet shop in there and so. So, I mean, people are really adversely impacted by the state of the decayed infrastructure in the town of St. George.
Yep.
And that piece of work there, Coco Road, from the time we took office, are fighting to get it done. People of the town of St. George, you need a representative who will fight for you. Because I'm telling you, I'm not your representative, I'm not the MP. But my party is in office. And what I've done over the last 4 years is to make sure that the town of St. George gets its fair share of the pie. I'm the voice of the town of St. George in the government. And there are others who were supposed to be the voice of the town of St. George in previous governments. You elected them repeatedly. And they were sitting at the table, the same table that I sit at now. They were sitting at the table. And they were obviously not advocating for you. Because these projects that I was able to get done is because I came to you on the ground, you tell me your story. This has been the state of things for how many years? We have been asking and asking. And you've been told, well, my hands tied, it's not my ministry. Sometimes you're told, well, I'm in opposition, so I can't do nothing. Nonsense. Once you're the MP, you're supposed to be able to do something for your people, otherwise you're wasting their time. And you were told all kinds of stories. I see myself as a person who came to you previously and said, let me be your MP. My party is in office and I have a seat at the table. So as far as I'm concerned, to get stuff done for the constituency, I'm the best person placed. And quite frankly, I have no excuse to get it done.
Next Representative Thomas and George.
Yes. So all of these projects were made possible because I, as a person on the ground in the town and in the government, was able to go to my colleagues sitting at the very table where the others sat for 4 terms consecutively, well, not consecutively, but 4 terms cumulatively. And I was able to sit at the same table and say, look, we need Coco Road fix, we need Gretna Green fix, we need this project. And it's not just asking, because Everybody's asking. All 15 constituencies are asking.
From the one pot.
Exactly. And everybody's vying. So you don't only have to advocate, you have to act, you have to push, you have to remind, you have to nudge, you have to explain the severity of the situation, right? You have to explain that you're not just engaging in vanity or projects that are not impactful. You have to explain the consequences if these projects are not undertaken. For example, the major project that was able to get done at Grenville Street, 4 roads. If that project was not undertaken, we faced possibly another millionaire. The road would have slipped down onto Melville Street. So we got that retaining wall. So you have to be, and the people again at Grenville Street, 4 roads, they say, you think, no, we're trying to get this thing done. A couple of the houses, people had to leave the house because the houses were moving.
Whoa.
Right? And you have an MP that wasn't getting it done. And I had to make the case to say, look, this piece of road, if you don't want another millionaire, better go and let us get Grenville Street fixed. And sometimes you have to help along the process. You have to push. You have to you have to make friends with the technocrats.
Yeah.
You have to know who the technocrats are and have a good rapport with them. Yeah. So you could call them directly, because not everything the minister or the PS, they had filled with a lot. So you have to know who's the real person that going to drive. Who's the person that going to send these tenders down to the procurement board? Who's the person that going to make sure this thing get advertised?
Well, you give a real study as to how to get things done.
Yes. So that's how I get it done. So I have been doing this work. I've been working that circular drive you're seeing on the screen there, right? And making the case. That Cocoa Road project. The thing is now, it went out to tender, they had issues, they pulled back the tender, they had to do it over again, then you have to do the redesign, all these things. And what can happen in the vast space that the public service is, right? When a snag happens with a project, it gets put down, it gets put on a shelf or put aside. Not intentionally, but other things happening, right? A bridge needs to be done in St. Patrick's. Something is urgent. Hurricane hit, right? Yeah. All of that happened during the trying to get Cocoa Road done. Hurricane hit, priorities change, and then you have to keep saying, so what happened to, where's Cocoa Road now? Where's Cocoa Road? Oh, well, Minister, we sent it out and they pulled back the tender and thing. I said, so when you're sending it back out, you got it. You got contractors. Who are the? You understand? You have to keep. Stay on top of the ball. You have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and you have to call Chief Technical Officer and his technical team, and so to say, well, look, this thing went down to procurement. Yes, Minister. Well, it's supposed to go down procurement, and then you have to call somebody in procurement and say, you all got this thing.
Time is quickly moving on. So, let's talk about your trip abroad. You came back recently.
Yes, so
a very important session abroad.
Thank you very much. So yes, as we do all this work, as I drive all this work in the town of St. George, I'm also catching up in terms of the ministerial work. When I say catching up, I mean I will focus today on the work in the realm of intellectual property. So the Office of Corporate Affairs and Intellectual Property falls under the Ministry of Legal Affairs. Has always been the case. But we have not been driving the intellectual property side of things in a long time. The Office of Corporate Affairs and Intellectual Property, CAIPO, there's a registrar there. And what has happened in the past is that the registrar, who is a technocrat, a public servant, they have been kind of left to run the office. And what you find happening is the routine, run-of-the-mill things happen. You incorporate companies, you register trademarks, the odd patent comes in that is registered and so. But there hasn't been, in previous years, policy direction and policy initiatives to drive the thing and to take advantage of all the opportunities that being a member of the World Intellectual Property Organization offers. So one of the first things I did on becoming minister is to engage the registrar at that level to say, no, we are members of WIPO. WIPO is the wealthiest organ of the United Nations. How are we leveraging that, especially given that we have now established the Office of Creative Affairs, and the creatives, intellectual property intertwine and interconnect a lot with creatives, right? So, and especially being a past deputy registrar myself, I understand some of the areas that we were not maximizing: trademarks, geographical indications, industrial designs, going digital, right? So all of these things we decided to focus on. And the first thing we did is that we signed a cooperation agreement with the World Intellectual Property Organization in early January 2024. And that enabled us to, free of cost, have all our records, trademarks, patents, industrial designs at the CAIPO digitized.
Wow.
And placed on the international database, hosted by WIPO. And all of that is for free. And to enter into the WIPO iPass system, so that all trademark, registration, patents, industrial designs, that is not just recorded at our local office, but it's archived with international records. So we've completed that whole process. So we are now part of the WIPO system, part of the iPass 4.0, which is the latest version, and also iPass in the cloud. So there's no chance, for example, that Grenada could ever lose its intellectual property records. No chance. Because we are part of WIPO in the cloud. So let's say there's a fire or destruction of our equipment, and so we can get back all our data going back from the first trademark or patent or so ever registered in Grenada. So we're able to do that.
Very good.
This allows us now to also do e-filing. So very soon, and part of what I did in my recent participation at the WIPO assemblies last week, is actually still going on. It's until the 17th. Mr. Branch is still there. I only stayed for part of the first week. Because, you have to come back on the ground. Other duties call. Yes. So, but I had a dialogue with the Director General of WIPO. He's the head of the World Intellectual Property Organization, and got his agreement for WIPO to fund a team in the coming months to come down to Grenada and to train our locals, the local staff, and, well, not so much the staff, because the staff is already familiar with the system, but the trademark agents, the lawyers and other people who register trademarks and so,
right,
so that we can go fully electronic, so that you don't have to do paper filing anymore. Because the system we have now allows for that. You don't need to do the paper filing, but the lawyers and the people who interact with CAIPO will have to be trained in how to use the system to file applications for trademarks and so electronically. So that's the next thing that's going to happen in the next few months. So once that training is done, we're going to be going straight into e-filing.
Wow.
All of these benefits come at no cost to the government of Grenada. No cost to the government of Grenada. The next thing that we were able to do, I think I came here recently and spoke about it, is to bring Grenada onto the international system of registration of trademarks.
Okay.
Your trademark is your brand. And we have a lot of local small entrepreneurs producing high quality products. You would learn that. You would have learned that from your experience.
Absolutely.
Very high quality products.
Yep.
Sometimes you see these things in the supermarket and you don't even know they're made in Grenada.
I was pleasantly surprised to see the kind of products at the
very high
Diaspora
quality.
Homecoming Marketplace.
I'm telling
really
you,
top
really,
quality
really high,
products.
top quality stuff.
Top quality.
Right? Indistinguishable from the big brands out there. And these local people have to be able to not just protect their brand by registering their mark, but also to do so, have the protection outside of Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what the Madrid Protocol does, and this is one of the things we were able to accomplish in the last year under the getting the resources, using the resources that WIPO offers. So we have the Madrid Protocol, the staff trained, we have the units ready to go, and came into being on the 15th of March, and so that is up and running. And then one of the meetings, well, two of the meetings I held while I was in Geneva last week had to do with geographical indications. We've completed the policy for that. Cabinet has approved the policy, and we are now refining the legislation. So by the end of 2026, Grenada would have in place a Geographical Indications Act.
On this note, we're going to take a short break.
Yes.
When we come back, we'll delve further into the geographical indicator
Yeah, sure.
mark. Back with you in a moment.
Get ready for a day filled with fun, laughter, and community spirit. It's the NDC Family Fun Day on Sunday, July 19th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Seaview Park in Canarsie, Brooklyn. Bring the whole family for a fantastic day of activities, including games, music, and exciting children's events. Plus, enjoy delicious food and free giveaways. And tell you what, it's absolutely free. Don't miss out on the fun. Mark your calendars. Grab your loved ones and meet us at Seaview Park between Skidmore Avenue and 91st Street. For more information, call 973-462-0596 or 347-722-5189. You can also visit us online at www.ndcnewyorkchapter.com. It's the NDC Family Fun Day 2026. See you there. Bring the record, bring the show.
Welcome back to the NDC Heartbeat. You would notice on your screen, and for those listening on radio, there is an event which is dubbed Unwind, the boat ride,
Unwind.
Friday, 17th July. It's only 75 EC, and if you want more information, you can contact 419-2848. The boat ride, dubbed Unwind, this Friday, 17 July. Be there. It's only 75 EC. Okay, well, welcome back to the NDC Heartbeat, and in studio with me is Senator the Honorable Claudia Joseph. We've been chatting quite a lot about various matters, and before we took the short break, we want to reconnect with the subject matter that you had raised.
Right. So one of the other advances that we made at CAIPO is to take steps to protect another aspect of Grenada's valuable intellectual property, and that relates to our origin-linked
Give me
products.
half a second. Didn't realize 1 o'clock has popped up on us already.
Already?
So just to invite those who are listening on radio to please join us on the Facebook NDC Heartbeat Facebook feed, also on YouTube. So thank you for being part of the Heartbeat. For those listening on radio, please join us now online as we continue our conversation with Senator the Honorable Claudia Joseph. Okay, so you were saying?
Yes, to protect our origin-linked products. Now, for years, we all grew up knowing Grenada being the island of spice. We all grew up knowing that we have the best quality nutmeg in the world. We also all grew up knowing that we had one of the finest quality cocoa in the world. Now, all these things have value. In fact, as it stands now, our cocoa fetch amongst the highest prices on the world market. But we can still get more. And one way of maximizing the value of origin-linked products is to have them protected by what is called, is a species of registration of a mark called a geographical indication. So you will have the name and the brand protected globally, and that name and brand would be linked to the origin of the product.
All right.
So you're talking like Blue Mountain Coffee, Jamaica.
You think right away
You think
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Champagne,
France.
France.
Yeah.
Right? La Gruyere, Switzerland has cheese. And these are world-renowned brands. And they carve out a little niche and they fetch very high prices. You try to buy 2 ounces of La Gruyere cheese in real value and it's over $20. It's expensive, right? And so we have that here in Grenada, but we have never leveraged it. And there's a whole international system which we can be part of, signing on to the Lisbon Agreement, for example, and having our own GI legislation will allow us to have our own geographical indication. You know, Jamaican jerk is a GI.
Oh.
Right?
Whoa.
And Demerara sugar out of Guyana.
Yes.
Right?
That's
So, and we don't have any GI because we don't have a legislation in Grenada that will allow for the registration of products based on the origin being linked to Grenada.
Right.
So we set to work on fixing that because we have nutmeg, we have cocoa, we have rum, we have all kind of things.
Lots of products. Yeah.
Right? And so we had cabinet approved a policy to enable us to pass our GI legislation a couple of weeks ago, and the Director General was very pleased when I was able to report to him that we finalized the policy document and cabinet has approved it and we are working on the legislation.
Right.
So based on where we are with the legislation, I'm confident that before the end of 2026 we would have gone to Parliament and passed our GI law. Now, in anticipation of that, we have been working with the Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association and the Grenada Cocoa Association to have our first GIs registered shortly after passing our legislation. Right? The legislation would allow for a kind of international registration through the relevant GI office at WIPO headquarters, similar to the Madrid Protocol.
Right.
So that's going to be a big thing. We have made some excellent advancements on preparing to have our first GI registered. So I anticipate that shortly after we pass the law, we will have our first GI registered for nutmeg, Grenada nutmeg, and hopefully Grenada chocolate or cocoa. So we're working on those.
All right. And of course, persons who have high quality products, they will soon come to understand how they go about registering their product, their trademark.
So another one, another ideal candidate to get a GI registered would be, say, River and Twine. River and Twine in Grenada, with River and Twine rum.
And maybe Jab Oil.
Well, the thing about the rum is like St. Lucia rum. They have one. So sometimes what can happen, all the manufacturers of a specific product in a specific location can get one GI.
Oh.
Right? And so like Jamaican Joke, for example, it's not one company that makes Jamaican Joke, right? But Jamaican Joke would be a brand, and then you would have different companies under the brand, but they will all have to have the same basic specifications, right? That will uniquely identify the product.
That's it.
And link it to a geographic location. So for example, there isn't only one company in France that makes champagne. Right? It's a number of companies.
But the nation
but they all carry
identified.
The name Champagne.
Yeah.
And it's linked to a geographic location in France named Champagne.
Yep.
Blue Mountain Coffee, same thing. So sometimes what you may have one product, but you can also have a series of manufacturers and producers from the same geographical location with the same basic ingredients that would meet the specifications, because the product has to be unique. It can't be something that can be produced anywhere and everybody has it, right? It has to be unique. So it has a lot of scientific examination and so going into it.
Right.
So as to what would cause Grenada nutmeg to be unique from, say, Indonesia nutmeg. So, right? So you have to, so there's a process.
In other words, defining qualities.
Yes.
All right.
So there's a process that takes place, a scientific examination of the product that will confirm that this strain, this product is unique, and it's unique to Grenada. Now, we already know that about our nutmeg based on previous studies that were done. So we're working on these technical aspects now. The specifications for nutmeg and so. So once we pass the legislation, we'll be able to get our GIs. And what that does, it lifts the profile of the product. It puts the product into an elite category, right? Which increases the value.
Naturally.
The cost of it. So those buying it will have to pay more. We carve out our niche. So we would be up there in that elite category.
Fantastic.
With our products.
Well, this is great news for Grenada
so, and these are the things,
producers.
Yes, these are the things that we have. When we talk about transformation, it comes in various forms.
Absolutely.
It's from the fantastic roads of Vincent's that we're going to get throughout Grenada soon, to things like that, getting us onto the Madrid Protocol. That changes the lives of people who interface at that level. Creatives and brand owners, increases the value of the product, gives them more leverage, right? So when you're marketing, for example, nobody could pass off your brand.
Yep. In other words, it is registered.
It's registered.
And well known.
Nobody could pass it off because it's registered, and it's registered internationally. In fact, we have an issue now where sometimes chocolate made in some countries on the labeling claim that it contains Grenada cocoa.
Oh.
When it doesn't.
Well.
Because in the international sphere, Grenada cocoa is among the highest quality in the world. I learned while I was at WIPO the other day that 2 of every 3 Michelin or elite restaurants in the world use Grenada chocolate or Grenada cocoa in their chocolate products.
Right. Okay.
So our farmers, our cocoa producers, our cocoa association, we're supposed to be wealthy.
Yep.
And this ties back now with our spice replanting effort. Our spice replant, because you had to meet the demand. You have to have the supply to meet the demand.
That's right.
So getting our GI for nutmeg, Grenada chocolate, Grenada cocoa, would mean that we would have to be able to meet the increased demand. And that's where our spice replanting. So everything ties in.
Right.
There's method to what this government does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everything ties in. So I would like to encourage all of Grenada to take part in our spice replanting efforts.
Yeah, it's continuous.
Yes, make sure you plant a spice tree. And then a nutmeg tree takes about 30 years to mature.
It's a long time.
Yeah. It's 30 years a year or 7?
No.
Well, to yield maximum. To yield maximum.
To its real maximum.
It's 30 years.
But I think within 5-7 years you can get
production. But to yield maximum, it's 30 years.
Yeah.
So we are not doing this just for us, for this generation. We are doing it for the ones to come, those behind us, the ones in primary school and secondary school and so. These are the people we are doing it for.
Well, all them mango tree and all them trees we had that are matured, these were done after Hurricane Ivan 1955.
Janet, you mean?
Sorry, Janet. Yeah.
After Ivan, we didn't have a concentrated replanting. And that's why we fell in terms of the being from the second. So we are number 8,
well,
nutmeg
there's still
producer.
some lands that still needs to be cleared.
Yeah. So we were not concentrated about it as happened after 1955.
Yeah.
So we had Beryl, and we are taking these remedial steps now as a government. Right. So people of Grenada, we need you to work with us, and we all know one term is not enough to do all that we plan to do. We have a whole hospital to build. We have Project Polaris. On stream, and so we have a lot to do, and we see there's some people out there who are, I don't know, I never liked the term enemies of progress. I think Sir Eric coined that.
Yes.
Because I think in a society, people have to be able to hold their government to account, right? People have to criticize. We hope that mostly the criticism would be constructive criticism, but we are human beings and it doesn't always work that way. You don't always get constructive criticism. So people have to be able to ask questions, to criticize and so. But I find more and more these days, Terry, I'm getting a sense that people are only opposing for opposing's sake. People are only criticizing for criticizing's sake, and not to genuinely hold the government to account. People who should be more responsible are being reckless with some of what they say. I mean, to my mind, when something good and positive for the country is happening, I think everybody should rally. Everybody should rally and say, yeah, this is good. And I don't necessarily support all the policies of the government. I may not even be a supporter of the government. But this is good. So let me support it. But you're getting a sense of people just
a few people.
Yeah, but they're not big.
Noise.
Yeah, making noise. Yeah, you know. And that's not good for the country.
Of course.
But we are focused. Mm-hmm. We know that every action we take as a government is in the best interest of the people of Grenada. Every action we take. And believe you me, when we sit as a team to discuss and deliberate, we don't always agree. We sometimes argue. We have different perspectives. And then we ultimately come to collective decisions. And once we do so, it's based on what collectively we think is best for the country. And thankfully, right now in Grenada, we have a leader who is a uniter. He respects people's opinions. He respects you when you don't agree with him. He tries to convince you. You may try to convince him. That's the dynamic. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, everybody has a voice, and we really come to collective decisions that we think best affect our people. So all this noise, a whole lot of, I don't know what they think, that we sit to
it's
to
just
do
noise in the market.
all of a sudden, you understand? So for example, Prime Minister Mitchell was a lawyer for about 18 to 20 years before, just about 20 years, I think he got called in 2001, thereabout. So just about 20 years before becoming Prime Minister. Nobody, I know in the legal profession, because I practice in the legal profession with him, I've never heard a colleague or a former client or anybody make an adverse remark on the Prime Minister as a lawyer. Never heard anybody accuse him of doing anything wrong. I am not aware that he's ever been brought before the disciplinary committee, for example. Mm-hmm. Anything like that. And that to me goes to character. It's a kind of character you're dealing with. So why all of a sudden a person of that character and caliber would be some kind of corrupt crook? Why all of a sudden, you understand? It's about character, mm-hmm. right? He's not the kind of person whose mother said that he would thief the meat off his father's plate when. You know? When the mother send you with the food for the father, you take the meat off the plate. His mom never said that. Somebody else's mom said that.
Yeah,
right? Likewise, myself, this year, it's going to be 30 years since I became a lawyer. 30 years. Mm-hmm. I've never been brought before the disciplinary committee. Nobody has ever accused me.
People of integrity.
You understand? Nobody has ever accused me. I have been known to be holding clients' funds for years, because whatever, sometimes you have funds and they dispute and people have to, you're waiting on instructions as to who to pay over to whatnot. And the funds will sit there.
No problem.
No problem. And people know me, my clients know me.
Well,
So where all of this talk coming all of a
it's
sudden?
just noise in the market.
Nobody
Noise
understand.
in the market.
So
It's not
I'm
serious.
saying to our people, don't listen to the noise in the market as Brother Terry described it, because it's just noise.
That's all.
Don't listen to the noise in the market.
Just noise in the market.
What we do for the benefit of our people.
Amen.
We've been talking healthcare for donkey's years,
Yeah.
and we are doing Project Polaris now.
Amen.
And somebody told me of some comments made by former AG. Maybe I'll come back and we'll talk about that.
All right.
Right?
At this time, we gonna have to bring the program to a
Yes.
close, and so I want to thank Senator the Honorable Claudette Joseph for being part of the Heartbeat today, and for sharing so much from
Yes.
PanFest to Kaipo to all that is happening and so forth, and the benefits our producers will soon, accomplish. With having international status on their products. So these are great things happening. So thank you very much for being part
Thank
of
you
that.
very much, and thanks for having me again. Thank you to all of the listeners and viewers. I know many of you stayed with us online. Thank you for sticking around.
Yep.
And I just like to reiterate, stand firm with the NDC, because it's only the National Democratic Congress that will take this country forward. We got a good and proper taste of everybody else who's trying to replace the NDC as government. And we know they don't have anything better to offer. So let us stick with the NDC as we move our country forward together. Thank
Amen.
you.
Amen. And thank you all very much. And let me just remind the folks in the diaspora, you have to put a steel band together for We PanFest next year. So take early notice. So let me just say thank you all once again for being part of the Heartbeat today, and join us again next Sunday when we'll have other equally stimulating and interesting conversations taking place right here on the Heartbeat. So have a great Sunday afternoon. The rains have stopped, so good luck to all of us who are outside doing things. Thank you, and catch up again next Sunday. Have a great Sunday afternoon. Goodbye now.